Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with the final episode of the week of Car. I don't know why I'm coming at it like that. With the final episode of the week for let's see if that makes a clip. With the final episode of the week. Oh, it's still in the green. I mean, I'm not sure if it's for real in the green or not, but that was showing like it was still in the green, so pretty interesting there. Anyways, let's see. Did I remember everything? Probably not the right time to be checking for that, but I think I got everything. Anyways, I might just drop the bomb now, because I'm kind of tired of keeping things veiled. I feel like it makes things difficult. It makes things tricky. I'm not sure, though. No, I'm getting second thoughts about lifting the veil yet. But something I wanted to talk about, I don't remember. But this more pressing thing matters. I've mentioned it before, but I guess I feel like mentioning it again. It's just this concept, this idea about, the future is bleak. It's bleak for a lot of people. But for me, it may not be. And it's possible that this could be this predominant theme for myself. Because my whole life, I've been very thinking about the averages, very thinking about other people, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, it's been, I don't know why my mind's blanking, but I know what I want to talk about, so I'll just we'll just keep rolling. So the way the world is, it's terrible for most people. But I've obviously sort of found that, ironically enough, it's worked out for me. It's the inefficiency of work and having a commute, things that I never wanted, that brought me to really understand my love for recording. It's entirely possible that it would have taken longer, or I wouldn't have gotten here at all, even, entirely depending on that. And it was also the pain of people. It was that people have not treated me properly. And if they did, then, if people had treated me properly, I've also said that I'd just be some social butterfly. Nothing special. There wouldn't be anything special going on. Because I would have just gotten what I wanted. But I never got what I wanted, and that has obviously shaped who I am, who I've become, in a very large way. So it's very interesting. It's all very interesting. But I wanted to talk about that because I think some healthy optimism at the expense of the listener is definitely due. Now, I'm kind of joking, but I'm saying that I do think most people are not really fit for the future, but it's possible that I am. I have some skepticism about that because I tend to have reservations about my abilities, if that makes sense. I kind of tend to have, I guess, what I want to coin as work ethic issues. But the thing is, in an AI future, that's hardly a problem. Being a hard worker isn't even going to matter. And even the world we see nowadays, you almost already see that manifest. Ironically enough, you see that the hardest of workers are not actually the ones who are rewarded. They're just not. Which is, it's pretty interesting to think about, but it's true. I mean, with AI becoming a thing, it's actually kind of the people in their head who are optimal. And I think it makes sense. It's kind of like, people feel anxious, but is that just a symptom of what we're seeing? Is it just a symptom of what we are witnessing? Being in our head, overthinking, are these traits necessary for the modern world? Is it a concept that humans' boundaries are being pushed further? Because obviously, for most of humanity, living out in the woods, hunting, fishing, being anxious was dumb. But in this day and age, it kind of makes sense. If you're hyperstimulating yourself constantly, all teched up, dopamine out of your mind on tech, your brain is going to be in this hyperactive state. And that's kind of a genuine symptom of modernity. It's a genuine symptom. And yeah, man, I'm just having these thoughts right now, like imagining how cool it is that I do this. Even if there's no attention, it does feel kind of cool because I'm like thinking about how I sound with this mic setup. Now, what's funny about that is it could be sounding terrible because guess what? I still have not even checked how it sounds, and I probably won't until next week either. So this could have been sounding bad this whole time, but it's kind of got that radio sound. And for some reason, it brought me back to my days in school, in elementary school. My grandpa would pick me up, typically, just because they didn't really have anything to do. I guess they wanted to help my parents out. They would help pick up, I think, all of us from school. And he would usually have the radio on. And so I'm just like sitting there, stuck at a red light, pretty bad light luck, pretty big clog going on. And I'm talking and I'm noticing my own voice. It's low key got that, it's kind of sounding like it's a radio show going on. And I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at the car in front of me. I'm thinking about, like, what if that guy sees me talking? He sees this headset I'm wearing. He sees a furball up near my face. No, I mean, he sees it. He sees what's going on. And he's probably thinking, man, and, my arm's on my door armrest. And, man, I'm thinking, this is the life. This is definitely the life. Because it's not something that everybody's capable of. I don't think everybody wants to do this. Some people do. But it's kind of getting to the point where, like, the view's got to catch up to where I'm at. Because where I'm at, this is already a level that people don't usually reach. I'm already here, right? Having a show for 9 months straight now or something like that is very unusual. Like the data, a lot of people start podcasts, but I'm sure my percentages are pretty low for the amount of people that would keep it going for this long. And that's, again, it's definitely meaningful. I know, beating a dead horse, broken record, whatever, but it's true. It's definitely true. It's just a matter of time before the views start catching up. But in general, and I'm cheating too, because radio shows, they're in a studio, they're not driving the car. It's like I'm a one-man band, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so making all this execute. Because, like, what if a radio show doesn't even know anything about the mic equipment? They got, like, someone else working for them. I'd over time, tweaked this setup and got it to where it's at now. and it's been self-made, and but it's something I have to remember, because as I get further through life, I think the message that started this show, that sparked this show, I'm not sure if it was truly realized. Was it ever actually realized? I don't know. I don't think so. Using the show and the concept of talking to myself through making videos as my platform, as my better than. People were not there for me in the way that I'm capable of myself, and trying to transmute that into something larger. Because I'm already spending more time making content than most people, especially this style. I mean, sure, there might be people who record gameplay. They might surpass me in terms of total hours. That's definitely a possibility. But it's this kind of content that is so core, and it's so just, I got nothing in front of me. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm reacting to nothing. We're on hard mode. Once I'm a live streamer and I got a chat to interact with, that's going to be a piece of cake. That's going to be a piece of cake. That is not going to be difficult at all. But it's just a matter of time. And I think in the meantime, it's good, because, these episodes that are rusty, it's just more practice. It's just more practice till I get my break. And like I said, in a way, I basically got my break. I just need the views to catch up, because I've been showing up. I guess the next step would be, if I can manage all A-tier episodes, all loud voice, because I'm trying to keep that voice pumping, because again, like I said, the sound quality, it inevitably is going to be better the louder a voice sounds. Again, another thing I'm not sure of, might change my mind about that once I hear back some of these recordings, but it's just kind of my theory about how a compressor works, that you'd probably just want to be maxing the microphone as much as possible. That's my theory about what would be optimal. I should check with GPT about that, though, before I continue. But I also think cultivating, using that loud voice muscle, it's important. I've been vilified my whole life for my loud voice. I might have told this story before on Car Rides with Schla, but I'm saying it again. We were playing Uno on the bus when I was doing track in high school, and I got pretty excited when I saw someone's card. Like, they showed me the card they had. They had probably like a wild pick 4 or something, and they were going to win. So I made out some noise, and I was like all excited, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. And then the coach didn't like that, and he said, all right, shut the game down, because we were being too loud or something. And everybody hated me for that, And it's moments like that that have stuck with me, and people hated me, But do you think any of those people remember it? Probably not. They probably don't really care anymore. But I do, obviously, because I was the one who was hurt by the fact that I just wanted to have fun and be loud and be happy. It caused me to have this memory. The times, even in my house, when I'd be talking to people on Discord with my microphone, and my family complaining that I'm too loud, mainly my sister, because her room was right next to mine. And yeah, so like the vilification of my voice, the vilification of the loud voice, feeling like, I got to be quiet. People always telling me that, got to be quiet. People always telling me I'm too loud and all this. But the mic for the microphone, it does not care. And like I said, in theory, it should be better quality. I'm not certain about it, but hypothetically, I can't really imagine how a louder voice would not come through better with a compressor. I think it would. I think it would smash that sucker up and get us some good stuff. But hey, we're going to have to listen back. I'm actually going to be very curious. It could be still rusty. Give me some time. Give me some weeks to get this sorted out. Hopefully I'm not saying the same thing next week because that would be kind of silly. But I was pretty happy with the settings last I heard them. So I'm just so lazy to the point where I don't really feel like checking it again. But hey, I mean, I think we've been pretty good. I really do think that we've been in pretty good condition here for a while now. We had a fairly abrupt break I had to hit there, but not too bad, not too bad. Just people aren't driving right, so weird. But hey, at least it's not a mega clog like last time. You know what I think about? I notice this in conversations with other people. It seems like other people, well, actually, it kind of looks like there could be some traffic, so that's kind of annoying. But at least, I guess I'm here now. I'm assuming it's going to ramp up as time goes on. Anyways, something I notice with people, I've talked to a lot of people, and I've noticed it. A lot of people, they always say they don't know what to say when they're talking to somebody. It's like a common thing. Very common thing. Sorry, I had to eat. Wow, I mean, people are driving a little bit janky today. You know, if there's traffic, just chill, you know? Yeah, this guy in front of me is janky. I think that was the problem because I had to push the brake harder than I usually do, but I think it's because the truck in front of me was being a little reckless because I just saw him like swerve into the other lane for almost no reason. Yeah, stuff like that. So, and now I lost my train of thought. I should just not even focus on that stuff, honestly. That really should be the situation. Trying to think though, what I was talking about. Loud voice. I don't remember. I kind of lost it, but I remember I was talking about the things with my voice being loud. Sorry, I guess the loud voice is kind of, I'm getting a little bit fatigued. I was talking in that loud voice for like 15 minutes and my body is getting a little bit tired of it. Would be cool if I could do that though for the whole time, but yeah, I mean, it's great. I guess it has been great finding like what your thing is, being an artist, but not really knowing what art you're actually supposed to be doing for your entire life until you're like 19 years old. I mean, that's pretty, that's not, well, and even like when I was 19, I knew it, but I didn't know it. It took until now really to be, and like I said, it was the imperfection of society that actually led me to here. That's the thing that's interesting. Because like I said, I could have been staying at home. I could have just bummed out with my parents, but I would have never discovered this. Even though it would have been, and that, I guess that highlights the nature of humanity. It does. It highlights the nature of humanity. And how it's kind of through the unoptimal that people can find things. Although, that being said, there's kind of a threshold there. I think we've talked about this before. If somebody's life is too rough, if somebody's life is too terrible, then it's likely not going to push them into a good situation. It's just likely not going to. And, you know, that's like a whole thing to get into. But to some extent, again, it was the unoptimization, the annoyance of people. And what I'm saying is that in this case catered to me discovering what could be my hope in the future. We don't know yet, but I want to try hope for a change. Like, I think that would be a very important thing for me, to just assume that things will work out, because really, there's no reason to think otherwise. I don't have any reason. I think I talked about this recently. Why do I always get pessimistic? Why do I get hurt by being let down? Doesn't really need to happen. It just doesn't. There's no reason for me to be hurt. It's just things happen in life, you know, good stuff, bad stuff. And it's like that saying, it's, you know, it's how you get back up. It's not how many times you fall. But again, I think it depends. It depends how you fall, you know. If you fall and hurt yourself enough, then you're not going to get back up from that. But if you fall just enough to beat you, but, you know, it doesn't kill you. And when you kill you, it's not literal. It's it's your soul. If something doesn't kill you, it doesn't kill your soul. Sorry, it's just funny because I'm saying this and then there's a Kia Soul in front of me. I don't know. I just think that's kind of funny. I guess that's kind of a silly observation, but yeah, it's like it's a death of a soul. Because some people, I don't think they rebound from their grudges. They just don't. And it's an important thing to be able to let go. And like I said, you know, I've lost some very important things to me over time. And it hurts. I still think about it. But at the same time, I've been given so much that I have to just start being grateful. It just doesn't. And I almost wonder if that's why the things I lost them. It could just be me coping. But I don't know. Is that really what we're going to boil down life to? Is it's just, oh, well, that's just coping. That's how, oh, nothing now. No, there's no spirit. No, everything's, I just don't want to believe that. It doesn't even matter. I don't care about what's actually true at that point. To me, it seems very true about what's happened to me. It seems like there's a meaning. And There's no reason to not believe that. Life and people's lives, and I just think it all works together with some kind of meaning. I guess I can't prove it, and I guess it could just be me a way to cope with what happens. I guess religion, you could argue, is a way for people to do that, is to cope with injustice. You know, I talked about it before on this show. I think maybe I should be more mindful of an afterlife. It would make me a little less focused on the injustices of the present. Not that I should be less focused, because I still think that focus is very important. But it's kind of difficult to figure out. It's difficult to figure out. But I think it's so much better to think that there is actually more to things, and I guess it's possible that that's uncommon nowadays, but or maybe some people think it's too common. Some people think people aren't skeptical enough. You have like all sides of the equation, but I don't know. It's just to get you through. It's just to make you understand that it is possible that despite what we see here, there could be some kind of figuring out, something that makes things meaningful, that there is some kind of a justice. And we can't prove it, but I think in a way that seems like it's part of what would be, right? Like if there was an afterlife and we could prove it, I think that would defeat the point of the test, right? Because then, of course, people would act differently, but then that would defeat the point. You know, a lot of these systems, these surveillance, super surveillance society, super surveillance society systems, system setup, super surveillance society system setups. A lot of these super a lot of these super so a lot of these super surveillance society a lot of these super surveillance society system setups sadly take away this aspect of humanity, and it may defeat the purpose of this lifetime if we are to believe there is more than what meets the eye. Because in that event, you would have a clearer system of judgment. You would know that you can't do this or that, and you definitely can't. And that's that. For sure, end of story. I don't know where I was going with. I don't know. Oh yeah. We're talking about we're talking about a person's character, and I think developing a self, there's really not much development if you're just surveyed and corrected. Whereas if you choose to be good when you don't have to, that's really a sign of character. A sign of character is not being good when you don't have to. That's got nothing to do with anything, you know? What good is that? What good is being good when somebody's watching? That's just like the standard. That's normal. I kind of think that's why Jesus mentions that, because it's supposed to show, like, if you really want to transcend the material, if you want to be able to see beyond that, you do your good in private. Like, you're not doing good for the point of appealing to others, because that's so easy. So easy to do that. It's so easy to show off and get credit. And so, yeah, I shouldn't even be recording. I shouldn't even be recording, because it should be in private. And no. What am I going to wrap all this into for the home stretch? Not entirely sure where we're getting at with this, but it was an explosive first 15. That's for sure. That's for sure. It was an explosive first 15. But now it's becoming a... Well, what's the opposite of an explosion? I wonder if that's a word, because I don't know how that would happen, but obviously if you recorded an explosion and then you played the video in reverse, it would kind of show everything. An implosion? No, I don't know. I don't know what that would be called. I guess I'll ask. I could ask GPT right now, actually. Let's just do that for the first time in the episode. I am curious. I'm very curious if there is a word for the opposite of an explosion. So basically, pretend we took a video of an explosion and then reversed it, and it's all the particles coming into one. Is there a word or a means to describe this phenomena, if it ever even exists? Because that's my other question. Does it actually exist in general? Or does that just never really happen, sort of like, again, an opposite explosion? Or I kind of thought of an implosion, but nothing's ploding, so I'm not really sure. All right, let's see. I think I might have used GPT before during a car ride, but I don't think I have in a while. So I was going to start doing that. No, implosion? Yo, I was literally right. What did I say? Implosion? Yeah, so maybe I was a little off. An explosion is matter and energy rushing outward. An implosion is matter being driven inward towards the center. Yeah, but you spotted the catch correctly. An implosion is not always a perfect reverse explosion. Explosion usually means yeah. Whereas implosion usually, yep. Yeah, they're not mathematically identical. There's not really a true word for it. Yeah. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. My guess was fairly accurate. So that's nice. And it looks, it's nice. I think it's nice that I coined that term. Well, wait, what? I didn't coin the term. What am I? It's so funny how I do that. I guess everybody does that to some extent, but again, I think some people maybe do it more or less or are better at it more or less than others. It's kind of something that's interesting to think about. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think a lot of people talk and they're kind of on autopilot and you just start saying words and then you're like, well, what am I even talking about? It happens from time to time. I'm sure. I'm sure that it happens from time to time. Yeah, that was unnecessary. Yeah, I'm running out of ideas. Wow, so that initial blockage, because I'm getting home relatively late. So I think that initial blockage affected things a lot. Whoa. Yeah, I'm really, well, look, it was definitely a better end of Friday than a lot of end of Fridays. I think overall, this episode went very well. And even though towards the end, I'm kind of like, yeah, just get this over with. Even though that is how I'm feeling now, for a lot of it, there was very little pausing and everything was pretty good. So, yep. But I'm running out of steam. I need fuel. I need fuel. Wait, what am I talking? Oh, yeah, well, I need steam. I guess I need steam. Oh, yeah, because the steam engine. That's why I would say that. I'm running out of steam. Running out of steam, but you know, we're still here. We're still here. Okay. Just a little bit longer. Well, we finally made it. We made it through a whole week. I can't believe it took 41 minutes for me to get home. This episode would have been fantastic if I didn't have all that lag, but you know what? I don't know. I guess that's how it goes. I guess that's how it goes. Well, we made it. We made it. We made it. It's over. Episode over. It's time for my break. It's time for my vacay. Done. Done. Finished episode. Finished. Done. Done episode. It's been Schla, and now it's time to buy Schla. So, see you, Schla.